Alrighty guys, Coaster here. I apologize the lighting's a little dark, but I gotta make this video now because this is some big news. The A's, they made the headlines today, acquiring Jon Lester, and they acquired Sam Fuld at the deadline. Of course, you look at what they gave up. Yoenis Cespedes. No, not Yoenis, like Chris Berman would say. But Yoenis Cespedes was traded for Jonny Gomes and Jon Lester. While a little minor trade went on with Sam Fuld being picked up for Tommy Milone. First off, I'll talk about the small trade. Milone was in the doghouse, just like Jemiah Weeks before him. He was in the doghouse. He kind of fell down the charts. People can say he was looking good, and you might point at his stats, but he's a product of the Oakland Coliseum. He's a product of a pitcher's ballpark. I don't think he's as good as people make it out to be, and I think teams agree. That's why they only got an outfielder for Tommy Milone. So Sam Fuld comes in. He comes back to the A's when we should have DFA'd or designated Derek Barton for assignment, but hey, we get him back anyways because we had so much outfield depth at the time. Well, now Coco Crisp could be out for the year. Craig Gentry broke his hand. We know he's going to be out for some time. Sam Fuld comes in as a utility outfielder who could go in every position possible. So, hey, I'm for that. We need some depth there. We need some balance. Don't play him every day, but he's a good bench guy and a good pinch runner if we need it. So, Milone was in the doghouse, as I said before. I don't think we had as much faith in him as people make it out to be. So there's that. Now the big trade, the blockbuster of Cespedes for Lester and Gomes. Both are rentals, both are short-term guys. Lester's coming off a pretty great year, and he was the highest prized pitcher on the market after, or technically David Price was, but people thought the Rays weren't trading. I'll get to that in a bit. But Lester is one of the best pitchers right now, based on this season. Boston probably should have extended him in March and made an extension then, rather than force to trade him now. I know he could go back to Boston, and there's that speculation, but I think he'll test the market regardless. Someone's going to give a better offer than Boston, in my opinion, because his injury history. I know Boston's aware of it. They're very conscious about it. We picked up one of the best pitchers, I said, on the market. We have an established rotation now, and we're in the era where the pitcher gets paid more than the hitter. So now you got Sonny Gray, Scott Kazmir, Jeff Samardzija, and now Jon Lester. That's a big four. That's going to be the main rotation from here on out. And on paper, hey, I want pitching. Pitching is a very important deal. I think nobody wants to see a Game 4 where we're starting a guy like Drew Pomeranz, or that could have been Tommy Milone, which is what Dan Straley did in that Game 4. He wasn't ready for the moment. You got to have an established guy playing Game 4, and I think the A's now have 4 established pitchers, which their theory is, hey, we'll outpitch you. That's the theory right now. Looks like they're going to ride that to the postseason. Of course, they gave up Cespedes, and there's the catch, is that where's our offense? Now we have no everyday players with the exception of Josh Donaldson. Everybody else goes part-time, or they platoon, or they play around with some of these guys. Maybe we play Jed Lowry and Brandon Moss a little bit more, but still, there's just a bunch of platoon guys, a bunch of Type B players. There's no Type A players anymore. With that being said, Cespedes was regressing offensively, that is. Defensively, he looked fine, but offensively, I thought he was kind of down from his rookie year. I think the league has somewhat figured him out in an A's uniform. He wasn't going to stay after 2015. We kind of figured that. So Boston gets to keep him. That's the big risk in all of this. He was the one guy that performed in the playoffs. And that's where it's going to be scary, is the offense. We traded pitching. We traded our offense for a little bit more pitching. But at the same time, do you want the sure thing in pitching? Of course you do, and that's what the A's were thinking. I'm really on the fence about this trade. I don't like that we traded our offense, and I'm kind of scared what the offense is going to do against some elite pitchers, because I really don't know. The offense, I think, is going to be very mediocre from here on out with just really great pitching. Of course, we picked up Jonny Gomes. He's going to probably platoon with Stephen Vogt in the outfield. Vogt will take the righties. Jonny Gomes will take the lefties. The problem is, a lot of players in the postseason are right-handed, pitching-wise. So that, will Jonny Gomes not play at all in 2012, or in 2014 the same way he did in 2012. I don't know, but Jonny Gomes at least will be a good upgrade for pinch hitting and against lefty pitching. He'll be solid there. Still, there's a few problems I don't like about this trade, and that's one, Josh Reddick playing every day. I think the organization has faith in him. They think he's going to turn the corner and he's going to play fine. I don't trust him. I really don't trust Josh Reddick in a crunch time situation. And some of these other guys, it's the same thing. And the other problem is our second base position. Nick Punto, Alberto Callaspo, Eric Sogard. All of them are not capable of being an everyday second baseman. So who starts at second base? We did not address that. We addressed the pitching, addressed the outfield depth because of the injuries. Unfortunately, we just haven't made that complete move to complete the roster for the postseason, and I'm kind of worried because on the waivers, 28 teams have to pass on a player just so the A's can even get the guy and claim a person to make a trade. So we gave up everything. We're selling our souls for this year, and that's what makes us nervous. If the A's don't win this year, we're going to be seeing a lot of suckage post-2014. We're probably going to see some sales, some dumps. We're going to see a lot of losing after this year, and this is where it's going to get scary. They got to win it all this year. It's World Series or bust, and I think our offense is not the greatest for that. I'm real worried about the offense, but the pitching, I do drink the Kool-Aid with teams who pitch, so I guess I'd be contradicting myself, but I think our offense is now just downgraded by a lot. Even when Cespedes doesn't hit, his presence makes a big deal in the lineup. We're going to try to win games 3-1, 3-2, instead of winning games like 7-5 or 8-7, something along those lines. But, yeah, are they going to be stubborn? Are they going to platoon in the playoffs when everybody is right-handed? Almost everybody? I mean, 80% to 90% of the pitchers are right-handed that if we're in the postseason. And I know David Price being added by the Detroit Tigers makes a little difference, but they're still going to throw out righties at us. And because they played all righties, some guys didn't play at all. I mean, Derek Norris didn't play last postseason, pretty much. Of course, Jonny Gomes the year before. This year, will Jonny Gomes play or not? I don't know. I just hope this team doesn't get stubborn in the postseason and try to let's put our lineup against right-handed pitching. That's the only way to solve that. And so, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm not worried about the regular season as much, but the postseason in October is where it really counts. And we all know I've been living in an era where I've seen nothing but playoff failure in the 21st century, minus 2006. But the expectations are sky high. They already were. Now they're really high. And we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think of this trade. I'm kind of on the fence. I just explained the ups and downs. But yeah, the Tigers upgraded. I really just don't want to see the Tigers in the first round. That's the biggest thing. See you guys later, and go A's.